Introduction. There are many potential hazards and risks in the workplace. That's why your employer provides you with personal protective equipment to protect you on the job. However, all the PPE in the world won't do any good if you don't make the commitment to wear it when it's required. It's really your choice to protect yourself against workplace hazards, so don't leave your PPE on a shelf or in your locker or vehicle. Make sure to wear it and take care of it. Using your PPE is making the right choice. Personal protective equipment can also be called personal productivity equipment. In addition to protection, it can reduce stress and fatigue and help you work more efficiently. Selecting and using the proper PPE benefits everybody. Hearing protection. Let's start with protecting your hearing. Ears provide two warning signals that noise is too loud: temporary deafness and ringing in the ears. A relatively short exposure to a loud sound, such as a gunshot, may bring on temporary deafness. Sustained exposure to constant noise causes ringing in the ears or tinnitus. The first symptom of permanent hearing loss usually is an inability to hear high-pitched sounds. Speech and other sounds seem muffled. As hearing loss progresses, musical tones lose their distinctness. Eventually, the ability to hear normal speech is impaired. Hearing loss from constant exposure to loud noise isn't just an inconvenience. Sounds warn us of impending trouble and are important for many safety-related reasons. Being bombarded by noise can also lead to fatigue, which can then lead to preventable incidents. Hearing protection can lower sound levels by 15 to 30 decibels if there is a good seal between the hearing protector and the skin. The two basic types are earplugs and earmuffs. Both are lightweight and comfortable. Earplugs usually are made of plastic or rubber and are inexpensive. They should be fitted to get the seal necessary to totally block the ear canal. This is best accomplished by reaching over the top of your head, gently pulling the top of your ear, and inserting the plugs as shown here. Remember, jaw movement may loosen earplugs, so they should be resealed occasionally. They also must be kept clean or replaced frequently to prevent ear infection. Ordinary cotton balls stuffed into the ears reduce noise only about 7 decibels, so cotton or paper should never be used to reduce noise exposure. Cotton cannot block out high-frequency sound and will provide no protection from high sound levels. Earmuffs are somewhat more effective than earplugs since they enclose the entire ear. However, even a slight opening may reduce the effectiveness of the earmuffs. Special foam pads are available to slip on the temple pieces of eyeglasses and keep the earmuffs fitting tightly. Radio or music player headsets do not give adequate protection. They may eliminate some of the higher frequency sounds, but they are of little or no value in the low frequency range, the range of most industrial noise. Earplugs worn by swimmers also do not protect hearing. A good rule of thumb when it comes to hearing protection: anytime you must shout to be heard 3 feet away, the noise level is high enough to cause damage. Eye protection. Thousands of people are blinded each year from work-related injuries that could have been prevented with the proper selection and use of eye and face protection. Eye injuries alone cost more than $300 million per year in lost production time, medical expenses, and workers' compensation. In the workplace, your eyes are subject to a number of hazards, including impacts, which are caused by flying objects such as chips, fragments, particles, sand, and dirt. Eye protection should be worn during chipping, grinding, machining, masonry work, woodworking, sawing, drilling, chiseling, powered fastening, riveting, sanding, and anything else that can create flying objects. Heat. Anything emitting extreme heat can potentially damage your eyes. This can include furnace operations, pouring, casting, hot dipping, and welding. Chemicals. Hazards include splashes, fumes, vapors, and irritating mists. These can occur when handling acid and chemicals, during degreasing operations, plating, and even working with blood. Dust. Harmful dust can be caused by woodworking, buffing, and generally dusty conditions. Optical radiation, or radiant energy, glare, and intense light. Activities like welding, torch cutting, brazing, soldering, and laser work can cause these hazards. Eye protection comes in a wide range of safety glasses, goggles, and face shields. Specific hazards, such as welding or cutting operations, require specific types of eye protection. Your supervisor or trainer will inform you which eye protection to use for a particular job. If you have any questions, be sure to ask your supervisor or trainer. Your eyes are too important to take risks. In shop or manufacturing environments, it is best to wear eye protection at all times just to be safe. Sometimes a combination of eye protection is required. An example would be using safety glasses and a face shield when grinding. The safety glasses protect your eyes, and the face shield protects the rest of your face from flying objects. Any affected employees who wear prescription lenses while engaged in operations that involve eye hazards must wear eye protection that incorporates the prescription in its design, or wear eye protection that can be worn over the prescription lenses without disturbing the proper position of the prescription lenses or the protective lenses. Respirators. One of the biggest mistakes people make is using a dust mask in place of a respirator. Dust masks protect against dust and dust only. They are useless in protecting against harmful vapors or gases. For these hazards, a respirator is required. We don't have the time to fully explore the world of respirators, but here are a few basics. Respirators should be used for protection only when engineering controls have been shown to be infeasible for the control of the hazard, or during the interim period when engineering controls are being installed. There are different types of respirators for different types of hazards. Air purifying respirators have filters, cartridges, or canisters that remove contaminants from the air by passing the ambient air through the air purifying element before it reaches the user. Atmosphere supplying respirators supply clean air directly to the user from a source other than the air surrounding the user. Particulate respirators capture particles in the air, such as dusts and some mists, but do not protect against gases or vapors. Combination respirators are normally used in atmospheres that contain hazards of both particulates and gases, and have both particulate filters and gas vapor filters. As you can see, there are different equipment-specific hazards. Additionally, respirators must be fit tested before use, which will be covered in detail by your supervisor or trainer. Filters and canisters must be changed or cleaned regularly. There also may be medical requirements or medical testing required before using a respirator. Respirators are vital equipment and shouldn't be taken lightly. Make sure you are trained and authorized before using any respirator. Gloves. Gloves protect your hands from rough or sharp parts or materials. They are made of a number of materials depending on the hazard. Generally speaking, gloves should be made of leather for use in industrial environments. However, when handling chemicals, leather gloves are a bad choice, since if soaked, they can hold the chemicals against your skin and cause contact dermatitis. Remember not to use gloves when using grinders, saws, or other moving equipment, as the glove can get caught and pull your hand into the danger zone. Hard hats and bump caps. Hard hats and bump caps are not one and the same. Hard hats are much sturdier and are used to protect against falling objects, tools, or impacts, while bump caps are just what the name implies. They protect from light bumps against materials or equipment. Generally speaking, hard hats should be worn at all times on construction sites. Bump caps are more common in plants and manufacturing facilities and should also be worn at all times in the work area. Always follow your company's procedures. Hard hats, bump caps, or any other PPE for that matter, should never be modified in any way. They should also be worn correctly with the bill facing forward. Report any defective, modified, or worn out hard hats or bump caps to your supervisor and get them replaced right away. Boots and shoes. In the workplace, boots or shoes should be leather-topped to offer some protection against light impacts and spills. No canvas or nylon shoes are allowed. Wear steel-toed shoes or boots if the work or your company requires them. Some jobs may require rubberized or waterproof footwear to protect your feet against chemicals or moisture. Soles of shoes and boots must be in good condition and have an adequate amount of tread to help prevent slips, trips, and falls. Wrap up. Although PPE is extremely important, do not rely upon personal protective equipment devices alone to provide protection against hazards. Use PPE in conjunction with machine guards, engineering controls, sound manufacturing practices, and common sense to reduce the chance of getting injured on the job. PPE is worth the extra time and effort. A little discomfort here and there is much better than the alternatives. Make the right choice. You won't regret it. Thank you.